Let's make a beachside fishing shack in The Sims 4. I'm going to start by laying out our decking. We can then build the actual fishing shack on top of the decking. I want this to feel a little bit small and cozy, but be able to have enough room inside to be able to fit in all of the different things that we're going to sell. And this is mainly going to be fish food and, of course, the actual fish. I also want this to be a house as well as a store, so we're going to add another level on top of our current decking, and this is going to be the level where we're going to have our house. I want there to be lots of beams as well, as I think this gives it a nice rustic vibe. Outside of the shop itself, I'm going to add a lot of different clutter related to fishing. We're going to have a bunch of different barrels and, of course, crates as well. We're also going to have a little ladder that leads you down into the water. I also want a little fishing section off to the side as well, where we have some seating and some lights where you can actually do the fishing. I added a few bits of clutter as well to the front of the building, more crates and boxes, as well as this steering wheel. I also wanted to include a little boat off to the left-hand side as well underneath our decking, which I thought you could take out onto the water to do some additional fishing. We can then move on to the actual house on the top decking. I wanted to stick to a rustic look, so I picked these sort of rusty metal panels for the roof. Then I picked wood for our walls. I also wanted to add in some piping and, of course, a big sign on the side that made it look a bit more like a fishing shack. Around the front of the building where we come up the stairs, we're obviously going to have the front, and we're going to have loads of little bits of clutter and some plants outside of there as well. We can then move on to the inside of the house. I'm going to split this off so that it has a bathroom, a bedroom, a living area, and then a dining and kitchen area. When you come in the front door, you're met with the lounge, which I wanted to be nice and cozy with loads of pictures on the walls, some plants. I wanted to do tones of blue as well. We, of course, also have our sofa, and I liked this rattan-looking chair, so I had to include that as well, as also adding in a bookcase. We then move on to our larger room, which is going to be our dining and kitchen area. I liked the sort of rattan handmade look, so I did that with the chairs on the dining table, as well as adding some fresh fruit to make it feel a bit more tropical. For our kitchen, I went with a sort of white and cream colour palette and blue cabinets, as this felt a bit more like something you'd have near the seaside. I wanted to keep this theme going throughout all of the rooms, so as we go into our bedroom, I wanted to keep that rattan look with our big bed. I also added in a rattan rug, and I wanted there to be a little seaside lighthouse figurine on the side of the bed as well. I also added in a bunch of pictures, including that picture that also becomes a TV, just so that we did have a TV in the property for our Sims entertainment. I wanted there to be some nice warm lighting as well in this bedroom. Moving on to the bathroom, again we just went with light blues and that light wooden colour. You can download this on the gallery under Hextra Hunt, titled Fishing Shack.